strategic race, all those kinds of things happen in international relations. So it's very difficult, in my view, that we can transform the world through yoga, but what it can do at individuals level, that it can change people's mindset. And once people start to realize that this is something in their interest, and this will ultimately contribute to world peace, then they will take it up and it will add up, stack up towards that goal. But unfortunately, the world doesn't work that way. But let's be very hopeful, very optimistic that the kind of movement which India is spreading around the world to secure peace, to bring peace, a world free of conflict, human being free from diseases and mental issues. These are all very good ideas, and people are taking them up. But we are, as I said, we are not still there at a stage where this will transform the world, and the world will become a peaceful place, like tomorrow.
We are going to end right now, but there's one more question I'd like to ask you, Professor Jain. Some practical steps for youngsters to take up yoga, since you're involved with the teaching line and with universities. There could be some suggestions, like instead of, in a session where people go for a coffee break, could they be going for a yoga break, for instance?
To you, can we imagine a time where people, instead of taking coffee breaks, can go for yoga breaks?
Definitely.
So time for us now to go for a break, actually.
Hospital, we have yoga room.
Yes, you mentioned about it.
changing world of news. Headlines that you wake up to. News that shapes your day. Stories that matter to you. The latest and most accurate updates. A fresh start to a new day. The Breakfast News, Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. on DD India.
Namaste India.
Namaste land.
Marhaban ila al-Hind.
Zari India.
Salam India.
Namaste India.
Namaskar Bharata.
Mui
Nous
India.
sommes land.
Nahnu hunud.
India.
माँ हिंदी हस्ती
Mung Hindian you.
Salam Hindustan.
We are India.
Your window to rising India. India's voice on global platforms. Latest news from India and around the world. In-depth analysis of global headlines. Watch DD India in your country. Available for downlink in Central Asian countries. STTV broadcast is available through the satellite GSAT 17 at 93.5 degrees east. HDTV broadcast is available through the satellite GSAT 10 at 83 degrees east. For technical details, scan here. Switch to DD India now. As the day unfolds and news and events take shape, we get you complete coverage of every news breaking in, tracking new developments as they happen. Midday Prime English, Monday to Friday, 2 p.m. on DD India. Your window to rising India. India's voice on global platforms. Latest news from India and around the world. In-depth analysis of global headlines. Watch DD India in your country. Available for downlink in Middle East countries. STTV broadcast is available through the satellite GSAT 17 at 93.5 degrees east. HDTV broadcast is available through the satellite GSAT 10 at 83 degrees east. For technical details, scan here. Switch to DD India now. Your window to rising India. India's voice on global platforms. Latest news from India and around the world. In-depth analysis of global headlines. Watch DD India in your country. Available for downlink in all Southeast Asian countries. STTV broadcast is available through the satellite GSAT 17 at 93.5 degrees east. HDTV broadcast is available through the satellite GSAT 10 at 83 degrees east. For technical details, scan here. Switch to DD India now. The changing world of news. Headlines that you wake up to. News that shapes your day. Stories that matter to you. The latest and most accurate updates. A fresh start to a new day. The Breakfast News, Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. on DD India.
Very good evening and welcome to our continuous coverage on the International Day of Yoga. One of a kind guardian ring for yoga. We are continuously showing you the live visuals from a different country. It's a super marathon coverage. We started off with Japan, Fiji, New Zealand at 3 AM, Australia and other countries subsequently, and then we moved westwards. We are following the movement of sun, and DD India bringing you this marathon coverage, and the only channel with exclusive footage from different countries and different missions from where yoga is being performed. And this is of course in line with this year's theme of Yoga for Humanity, One Sun, One Earth.
All right, Abhishek, let's now go over to Suriname, where we go over to the Surya Event Center in Paramaribo.
Yeah.
योगा की तत्कालीन मौजूदा प्रथाओं, इसके अर्थ और इसी संबंधित ज्ञान को व्यवस्थित और संहिताबद्ध किया, जो बाद में प्रलिखित और साहित्यिक माध्यम से योग का संरक्षण और विकास के नींव बने। सूरीनाम में योग का ज्ञान और अभ्यास 80 का दशक के अंत और 90 का दशक के शुरुआत में पुनर्जीवित हुआ। भारतीय संस्कृति केंद्र ICC ने सूरीनाम में ब्रह्मा कुमारी आर्ट ऑफ लिविंग फाउंडेशन के साथ योग को बढ़ावा देना में महत्वपूर्ण भूमिका निभाई है। Ladies and gentlemen, I continue in English again. For many, the yoga practice is restricted to hatha yoga and asanas or postures. While yoga primarily focuses on physical and mental health, the goal of yoga is far-reaching. Today, our exposure to yoga is largely restricted to yoga asanas, the reason why the art of yoga is associated with flexibility and fitness. It is good to underscore that people were sitting on the floor in yoga asanas as a matter of daily life. Today, we need to work our way into a Padma asana or lotus pose. Correct posture and a meditative state were an essential lifestyle that modern living has deprived us of. Yoga was never meant to be asana in isolation. Asanas are undoubtedly an essential step in the process of overall enlightenment, and furthermore, yoga helps you realize that you are one with the universe. Once you attain this state of awareness, you achieve control over your body, your mind, and spirit. This path to self-realization and actualization is the true aim of yoga. The unprecedented COVID-19 pandemic has installed fear and uncertainty in our minds, but fortunately, many around the world benefited by the practices of asanas, pranayama, and meditation to overcome this tragedy affecting humanity. As government, we appreciate the acknowledgement of the Government of India to include Suriname in the global yoga ring with a live telecast. This is another reflection of our solid and friendly relations established over 4 decades ago. Moreover, I am grateful and appreciate Prime Minister Modi for his invitation to participate in this auspicious event as chief guest. In addition, allow me to extend sincere congratulations to the government and people of India with the commemoration of 75 years of independence on the 15th of August, also known as the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. In commemorating its crown birthday of independence, India will certainly reflect on the significant developments and achievements since its independence in 1947, both locally and globally, which punctuates its position in the world as the second fastest growing economy. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Yoga and Ayurveda have shown tremendous potential and possibilities to be employed for a healthy lifestyle. Let us therefore strive to make a significant difference by adopting these traditional methods and to work towards building healthier bodies and souls for the benefit of our countries and people. In doing so, let us remain mindful of the critical aspect of unity as a leading principle to portray the significance of Vasudeva Kutumbakam, which means one world family. I thank you very much. Namaste and God bless you all.
Thank you, Your Excellency, for your thoughtful and profound insights on the benefits of yoga and personal support to this program. Thank you very much. June 21st is the longest day of the year and has a special significance in many parts of the world. It is believed performing yoga on this day brings special benefits. It has been a traditional to perform yoga as part of the celebration of the International Day of Yoga. I therefore invite on stage yoga gurus from SVCC, Art of Living, and various other yoga schools of Suriname to demonstrate some yogasanas from the common yoga protocol. I request all of you to follow their instructions and perform yoga. Volunteers will help those in need. I also request you kindly switch off your mobile phones or put it on silent mode, so to enjoy the oneness with our surrounding, which is all about yoga.
Before we start with the yoga protocol, there are very important rules of practice. The first rule says, do as much as your body can. A very, very important rule. Your body is different from the person next to you, so do not compare yourself while doing the posture. And the second most important rule
Right, while the missions abroad organize yoga activities on International Day of Yoga every year, it is the first time that it has been conceptualized in the manner of Guardian Ring. And a little bit about the venue again. This is the Asurya Event Center in Paramaribo in Suriname, and this center is located in the tallest building in Suriname. And this two-story multi-purpose event center is suitable for both corporate and the private events. And if we go back to the history, Amritpal, in June 2018, President Ramnath Kovind had visited Suriname and he performed asanas.
This is the president of Suriname, Chan Santokhi, who's participating in the yoga event there. He is himself doing yoga. It's not just him, but this is Chandrika Prasad Sokhi, but Santokhi, but the first lady as well, also the vice president with his spouse, the speaker, the deputy speaker of the National Assembly, many cabinet ministers of President Santokhi's cabinet, members of parliament, members of the diplomatic corps, UN agencies, international organizations, of course the Indian diaspora there who have gathered to perform yoga on the International Yoga Day 2022.
Absolutely, it's over around 8:30 a.m. in the morning there. 400 participants are performing yoga, all in unison, mind and body together. And I was talking about 2018, Amritpal. President Ramnath Kovind had gone there during International Day of Yoga, and he performed asanas with Suriname President on this day, on the occasion of International Yoga Day. And he addressed the gathering there also, and he praised the beauty and calmness of Suriname and said he cannot think of a more appropriate place to practice yoga. And he also said that nowhere else in the world today and at no previous International Day of Yoga have two heads of states been co-participants, and friends who do yoga together are true friends and always stay friends. And Suriname is strongly influenced by Asian, African and European cultures.
It was basically a Dutch colony, Abhishek, and the Dutch ruled that. As you know, in the rest of the Caribbean, there were a lot of plantations being done at that time. So the Dutch took people from Africa, people from India as plantation workers. So there is a sizable Indian population, Indian origin population.
Okay.
They mostly speak Creole, but there's a lot of intermixing of the African and Indian races as well. The current president, Chandrika Prasad Santokhi, is of Indian origin. So there are these long-standing civilizational ties that exist between India and Suriname, because the Indian population is quite a sizable population, and as you can see, the government, the present day government, is also being led by Indian, a person of Indian origin. And as you can see at this event, it's it's of course the Indian origin Surinamese who are settled there, but it's also the people from other nationalities, essentially people from the diplomatic corps who are posted there, people from international organizations, people from the United Nations organizations posted there. So we can see a wide array of people, and it's not just it's about the growing influence, the growing awareness of yoga, the growing utility of yoga, especially when people saw it during the pandemic and even in post-pandemic circumstances, that yoga has got a lot of traction, and how it makes people well, both physically, mentally, socially, and also spiritually. So the all-encompassing benefits of yoga reaching out to the people, and as this year's theme, Abhishek, yoga for humanity. So it's this whole unique concept of the Garden Ring, more than 75 countries from around the world, organizing these yoga events at various iconic locations in their own countries, where people are, not only becoming aware of yoga, but also propagating yoga, and also the message of peace, humanity, the Vasudeva Kutumbakam, the whole world is a single family, being passed through this ancient tradition of Indian tradition of yoga.
Indeed, absolutely, and we continue to talk to our guest. Dr. Sunil M. Raheja is with us. Welcome again, sir. He is DNB, MD Medicine, GB Pant Hospital. Sir, it's amazing how the world is embracing Yoga Day, and what is it about yoga that it becomes so easy for the people to embrace it and becomes so universal?
Yes, basically yoga leads to the union of individual conscious with the universal conscious. So it brings the feeling of oneness,
right?
One world, one earth.
Yes.
And it is beyond the physical activity or the physical exercise, because it brings oneness in the individual, in the nature, and this universe. So yoga for humanity, Manavta ke liye yog. So this is the theme of
this year's
International Yoga Day this year.
Yoga Day.
So if you see, yoga will unite you with yourself, with nature, with the universal creatures also, everyone in the universe, like birds, trees, your relations. So yoga gets you it's love, compassion, affection. So all these positive thinking will lead to universal oneness, this what we call one earth. So that is where the yoga will bring peace, harmony, happiness in the universe. So that is the, I think, need of the hour these days.
Absolutely. In a conflict ridden world that we live in, in a world which has its own set of multiple challenges that modern life pressures throw upon us, it is all the more important for an individual, for one, of course, his own well-being, but his own well-being, Dr. Raheja, would come, as you were talking to me a little while earlier about how the WHO has now changed the very definition of being healthy and health, that how when you spiritually connect with the cosmos and see yourself as a part of that. Dr. Raheja?
Yes, yoga has played a important role in promotion of health and prevention of diseases. As we know, the definition of health by WHO is your physical health, mental health, that is psychological and emotional, social health, how you connect with your people around, your subordinates, your family, your friends, your peers, and spiritual health, and not merely the absence of disease. So, if you are healthy at all these four aspects, physical health, mental health, social health, spiritual health, that is the definition of health and not absence of disease. And yoga has played an important role in the prevention as well as treatment of lifestyle diseases like high blood pressure, coronary artery disease, heart attack, stroke, asthma, COPD, stress, anxiety, depression, indigestion, and then even sexual disorders, it plays an important role, erectile dysfunction. Then it improves your endurance and brings enthusiasm in yourself. You know what happens in yoga, basically I have gone into big details of yoga. Once you are doing yoga, you are maintaining a posture and then you are releasing it, or you are stretching your muscles and then slowly releasing the pressure.
Right.
So, this alternate contraction and relaxation
Right, sir. We'll
relaxes your cells.
Right, Dr. Raheja will come back to you, but time to go to our next destination now, from Suriname to Colombia now, and the venue is Bicentenario Park in Bogota. And a little bit about the venue. This park is located in the heart of Bogota over El Dorado Avenue facing Montserrat, which is a very popular tourist site of the city. We'll go across there live.
Acá para esas celebraciones, señoras y señores. Namaste, buenos días a todos ustedes. Como ya saben, muchos de ustedes son practicantes de yoga, uno de las herencias de la India antigua que trae con esa herencia una práctica física, mental y espiritual desde hace más de 5.000 años en India. Reconociendo sus beneficios y motivado por nuestro primer ministro, señor Narendra Modi, en 2015 Naciones Unidas aprobó esa declaración de celebrar el 21 de junio como Día Internacional de Yoga. Este año volvemos a celebrar presencialmente después de 2 años la 8ª edición de ese Día Internacional de Yoga. El yoga crea una conciencia global de los múltiples beneficios para la salud física, mental y espiritual, así como para promover la convivencia, la paz y armonía. Por esta razón, es un honor celebrar el Día Internacional de Yoga 2022 en la capital de Colombia, Bogotá. Para mí es un gusto poder celebrar ese día tan importante en el emblemático Parque Bicentenario. Bienvenidos a todos para esta celebración y muchas gracias por venir acá. Gracias.
Gracias, señor embajador, por sus amables palabras. Thank you, Mr. Ambassador, for your kind words. A continuación, doy la bienvenida al señor alcalde del municipio de Fusagasugá, Su Excelencia John Jairo Ortúa Villalba, para que nos regale unas palabras. Now, welcome the Mayor of Fusagasugá, His Excellency John Jairo Ortúa Villalba, to give us a few words.
Tal vez es en las más grandes crisis cuando cualquier persona y cualquier pueblo comprende las enseñanzas más importantes para su desarrollo. Hace pocos meses la humanidad tuvo la oportunidad de vivir tal vez una de las crisis más conmovedoras y al mismo tiempo enriquecedoras que ha habido en los últimos tiempos. Vivir una pandemia nos hizo comprender, por ejemplo, una verdad absoluta y muy importante, y es que los seres humanos estamos, nos guste o no, interconectados unos con otros, y que la compasión que nos debemos tener unos a otros es precisamente la que nos hace vivir, que es la solidaridad, el encuentro, la ayuda, lo que ha hecho que los seres humanos hayamos perdurado a través del mundo. Quiero agradecer la invitación de la Embajada de la India, de su embajador Sanjeev, a quien le agradezco mucho, y sobre todo doy un saludo también al pueblo de la India, por esta herencia cultural que nos deja a todos los pueblos de la tierra, y que la misma sea una oportunidad para encontrarnos, para buscar la armonía entre nuestro cuerpo, entre nuestra mente.
Those were live visuals that we were bringing to you from Bogota, the capital of Colombia, which is a Latin American country. In fact, they've just had new elections there and a new president, Gustavo Petro, the left-wing president, and the first Colombian lady becoming the vice president. The first time she was a former housekeeper, and and even Gustavo Petro being a very interesting figure, a former the rebel, now in place, but that's about Colombia. So even Colombia, where it's about 6:30 in the morning, welcoming the sun with the yoga event that is organized there as part of the Garden Ring.
Right, Amritpal, yeah, and one more guest has also joined us virtually, Professor B.N. Gangadhar, his former director, NIMHANS, which is National Institute of Mental Health and Neurosciences. Welcome, sir. Welcome to DD India. Yes, sir, like we were discussing in the studio also, how yoga is a metaphor for balance and joyful life. World is not only looking at India, but also looking up to India when it comes to the soft power of yoga.
Yeah. There are a couple of issues about yoga itself. Earlier, one of my colleagues on the screen spoke about how yoga helps to connect, and what is the mechanism that brings in these changes at a neuronal level, or at the brain level, and so on and so forth. This has been a concern to all of us. We are looking into. We know that yoga helps a lot of people. Right. It helps us to become physically agile, mentally alert, and also socially well connected. The whole world we go to be seeing as one family. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. So this connectedness is something that is going to bring a lot of harmony. Many of these issues have been talked about for healthy people. But when you actually have to demonstrate why yoga brings in this change, you find there are a series of events that happen because of the practice of yoga, in our body, in the brain in particular. In acute practices of yoga actually deactivate or reduce the excitability of our emotional centers called as the limbic gray matter. They become less activated, which otherwise would be very active, more active, and make us very emotional, which does not serve the purposes of our day-to-day living, stress-free and being calm. It won't allow that to happen. So practice of yoga cools those centers. That triggers a cascade of events that happen. It reduces the activation of the hypothalamo-pituitary adrenal axis, which in turn reduces the levels of cortisol. Cortisol is a stress hormone, and this hormone being high as can happen because of continued stress, and being high also triggers some adverse events. And that is prevented if yoga is practiced. Your limbic system deactivates, your cortisol production becomes less, your physiological effects of chronic stress reduce. What is the benefit of having less of cortisol? Cortisol again triggers a cascade of adverse events. I'll give one or two examples. I may not go into all the examples. One of the example is that cortisol reduces brain repair mechanisms, both acting directly on the brain and acting through a chemical called as the brain-derived neurotropic factor. We need this brain-derived neurotropic factor to continuously repair the brain. The wear and tear of the brain has to be corrected from time to time. And
okay, I think that link has frozen. We'll go back to Dr. Gangadhar there. But let's right now go over to the United States, Niagara Falls in the New York State of the United States, bordering Canada, where where yoga is being practiced as the sun rises over there.
As you breathe out, going to left and front. Let's continue making breath longer. Breathe in, right and back. As you breathe out, left and front, continue one more time. Breathe in and breathe out, going left and front. Finish this round in opposite direction as you breathe in to the left knee and back. As you breathe out towards the right knee and then front. Continue, you may keep your eyes closed and continue. One more round. As you breathe out, finish this round. And breathe in, come up. Slowly, let's all stand up. And let's start moving our fingers. Just move your fingers. Wrist, elbows, shoulder, upper body. Come on. Hips. Start jumping a little bit.
Right, we are showing you the live visuals from Niagara Falls, and there are about 300 to 400 participants participating and doing yoga, and local time is around 8:30, a little over 8:30 there.
Right now it's actually 8:21 a.m.
Okay.
8:21 exact a.m. That's what Google tells me. Anyway.
And this is the Oaks Garden, if I talk about the venue, Oaks Garden Theatre, and located at the foot of Clifton Hill, and this is the perfect spot for a superb panoramic view of the Niagara
this is
Falls.
on the Canadian side. This is okay. Niagara Falls is right on the border of US and Canada. For the Niagara Falls actually is in the state of New York in the United States, but this is on the Canadian side.
And this is the spectacular garden, is the gateway to Queen Victoria Park, Niagara's park centerpiece that showcases the falls. You can see the beautiful scenic view, and when it was built in 1936, designers took advantage of the shape of the existing grounds to form a curved pergola overlooking the amphitheatre. And decorative iron gates, Queenston limestone edging, stone gardens, water features, ponds and bordering shrub have been meticulously integrated to the formal garden design. And the mystic and the majestic stage backdrop of Niagara Falls provides panoramic views of both American and Horseshoe Falls.
Louder. Ha ha. Ha ha. Ha ha. Last time. Ha ha.
So as the sun rises over Canada, especially eastern Canada, it's about 8:25 in the morning there at Niagara Falls. This is on the Canadian side, so people welcoming the sun by performing yoga. This is mostly the Indian community there, organized by our consulate in Toronto, which has organized this event there, this yoga event. So people seen performing yoga at this beautiful park location in at the Niagara Falls. As the concept of the Guardian Ring, the Prime Minister spoke about it in his Man Ki Baat program, Abhishek, welcoming this is happening in about more than 75 countries, which we've been beaming live to you since 3 a.m. Indian Standard Time, and will continue doing so till 10 p.m. Indian Standard Time tonight. More than 75 countries welcoming the sun as it rises over their countries all along the earth, and by performing Surya Namaskar and various other asanas of yoga.
Absolutely, Amritpal. Yoga has moved from strength to strength, and Dr. Raheja, like we were talking earlier also, Guardian Ring, it's out of the box idea, and it will go further. Yoga again binds the world, and India again leading from the front.
Start breathing out, stay in the plank, happily, steadily. As you breathe out, knee on the floor, push your hips on the heels. Child pose, Shishuvasana, and as you breathe out, coming to Ashtanga, chest in between the arms,
brings oneness in oneself, in the nature and the world.
Breathe in,
and this is how it brings happiness, harmony and peace. So that is where how the yoga works at individual, spirit and universal. That is where you
see if you can bring your heels on the floor,
feel oneness. That is one earth, one sun.
With the next breath out, push it further
and
back.
Yoga for humanity. So
enjoy in the moment.
It brings positive emotions in ourselves.
Right.
Peace, harmony, tranquility and oneness.
Is that the appeal, Dr. Raheja, of yoga, that anybody from anywhere in the world, where yoga might not have necessarily originated from, it's an ancient Indian tradition, but say somebody sitting in Suriname, somebody sitting in Colombia, who's never been to India, who perhaps does not even know where India exists on the world map, is very easily able to connect through this yoga, because it connects at a very human level and connects the individual with the universal spirit or the cosmosic consciousness, as you say.
Yes, basically today is International Day of Yoga, being celebrated from east to the west in more than 179 countries.
Left foot back, left
So you can feel from the origin of yoga 5000 years ago,
and right foot
and
plank posture.
Shiva is supposed to be the Adi Yoga.
As you breathe out into child.
The Adi Yogi.
Yeah, Adi Yogi.
Yeah.
From there, our ancient saints, they took it forward, and even the goddess. So if you see, now this yoga has a huge acceptance all over the world. Today 21st of June is being celebrated because it's as International Yoga Day. It's the longest day of the year. At the same time,
next breathe in,
each and every individual in the world has realized what they need. They need harmony, happiness, peace.
Right foot also,
and that is what yoga brings.
Now see if you can keep your palms on the floor.
Controls your emotions and energy.
And keep breathing.
You think that can be achieved with continuous
yoga.
Practice of yoga?
Yes, and the message should go that yoga effects, they come slowly and steadily.
Okay.
21st June is basically to create awareness. International Yoga Day is to create awareness among everyone.
Breathe in, look up, push up.
But we must do yoga every day, and within a couple of weeks or months you will find the real benefits of yoga. You will find your health is improved, your body endurance is improved, you feel more enthusiastic, more energetic,
okay,
and you are able to concentrate and work more. You are calm, focused. So all this comes, but it's a subtle science. The effect will come slowly and steadily.
Okay. Let me ask you, Dr. Raheja, you told me a little while back that it's been 25 years that you've been doing yoga. Not at the stage where you are after 25 years. When 25 years back, you would have been a young doctor working in a government hospital of Delhi. What got you attracted then to yoga?
Yes, it happened by chance. I must say, I was the physician in charge of intensive care units and intensive coronary care units, where I could see critically sick patients. And naturally, once the patient is, very critical, you are also stressed. Like you will forget your lunch and everything.
Right.
So you are just involved in that, and you really get involved with the patient. So that stress levels were there. Once I was being nominated for this yoga session of 15 days from Vivekananda Yoga Sansthan, Bangalore. I think Guruji came, and it changed my entire approach to the patients, entire way how to take up the stress levels, how to be more compassionate and care, because ultimately you get to know the patient is sick. He needs assurance, compassion, love, that he will survive and he will be healthy. So as a physician, I feel that yoga really induces that compassion and love in your overall way of living.
What changes do you see now when you started yoga in 1995? We'll talk about that, but Dr. Gangadhar is also with us, is waiting there virtually. Mr. Gangadhar, if we go back 2 years, I mean, everyone was people were sitting at home because of the pandemic. Pandemic caused a lot of stress to people, and you think yoga is a great refuge for people, not only in India but in the entire world.
Yeah, you are right. A lot of work has happened. I think I should continue where I left out from how the brain repair mechanisms are facilitated by practicing of yoga, because the cortisol comes down and the brain derived neurotrophic factor goes up in the brain. World over, people have looked at what is the effect of long-standing regular use of yoga. People have shown that in those who have been chronically practicing yoga, regularly practicing